Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Black Link Magazine. I am the CEO and founder. I'm also the host at the Black Link Experience. We are so excited to have Collekta with us today for an interview. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. We're excited to have you here. Collekta, welcome to the Black Link Experience.
Thank you, Marva. Thank you for having me on the show.
You're very welcome. Well, let's go ahead and get into the interview. Tell the world who you are and what you do, Collekta.
Okay, so my name is Collekta, as my production name. I'm primarily a producer, audio engineer based in Ghana, in Africa. Yeah, that one aside, I also do a bit of photography and videography too. Yeah, so that's me in a nutshell. Like, yeah.
Okay, well, just I'm glad to have you and interested, way in Ghana. So that's interesting for Black Link Magazine. So thank you again. Tell me, when was it that you knew it was music for you? Like what prompted you to get into the music business?
So I'll say, I mean, it all goes back to childhood, growing up. So being in the church, being that naughty kid, always trying to mess around instruments and electronics around the premises. So, I mean, that's where it initially started. I've always been in trouble for when it comes to music. I ask something for an audio gadget or something, I'm not giving. I need to have it. I need to go. So I might find my way, sneak in there and just pick it, go and use it for what I want to use it. Come and put it back as if nothing happened. So I mean that's been the early stages for me. Then fast forward going to college and everything. Also got the opportunity to serve in the media. So back here in Ghana, well, we call it secondary education.
Uh-huh.
And in secondary education, in my final year, I aspired to be an entertainment prefect. So what basically that means is I oversee anything that has to do with equipment within my school. So if we ought to have like events like school debates, entertainment shows,
Mhm.
variety shows, and all of that. I'm responsible for making sure that some of these activities do happen on the school premises. So I mean that's where I really got into the whole technical stuff. Yeah.
So basically, that's how you got in the business and got the interest in the business. So tell me, where did the name Collekta come from for your like stage name?
So I mean the collector basically is something I just decided to go with because I'm born into a Christian family, so I decided to use. I've gone by many names, but when I decided to go professionally, I always thought about using the name Creator. The Creator, and I was like, okay, that sounds nice, but obviously due to my Christian background, it's going to be a bit of confliction.
Yeah.
So I just thought about it and trying to come up with something new, and I decided to just pick a word and I just use collector. So collector, in my own way, is like a pseudonym for a creator or a creative.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how I would like to associate myself in the whole music chain.
I like it. I like it. It's different. So, I mean, we
Yeah.
try to be unique in our own way, and I really like it. So, tell me about some of your experiences as a producer. Are you and how you work, or how you choose the artists that you work with and the type of music you guys are producing.
Okay, so I mean, for me as a producer, I think for most part of my early years, for me has been learning the whole production, how things are done in the production side, and
Mhm.
also trying to get to know people and how they do their stuff. But I mean, from that time I came in, there wasn't so much kind of networking for producers that we're going to say, okay, I can link up with this guy and just study how he does things. So just had to find our own way of creating. So it was just about that era that internet was quite big here and the whole YouTube thing was really coming up. So I thought about it doing my own research. So for most part of my production life has been doing my own homework to understand how this or that sound was achieved. And that part of my journey has been very fruitful in the sense that I don't just pick sounds and use in my production because this person or that person is using it, but does it serve the purpose for the vision I have for the song? That's the first question I ask before I pick any sound. And with our music here, I mean, Ghana is very known for the high life music,
Mhm.
but from from the colonial era up until now, other forms of music have been derived from the high life music. We could talk about hip life music, which is like a fusion of our high life music and the hip hop music from the Western world. We can also talk about reggae, dancehall, the Azonto era where it was all like a dance kind of craze. Like
Mhm.
the Europe have their techno and electronic music. Then we fast forward now we are in the Afrobeat era.
Yeah.
Afrobeats is all over the globe and everybody is embracing it. So I mean that's where we are now. So Afrobeats in its sense also is comes from the high life days,
Hmm.
whereby certain musicians also studied other forms of music like jazz and all of that, and also picked bits and pieces from it and decided to come up with their own sound that they'll be well known for. So we could mention the names of Fela Kuti, we could talk about Fela Kuti from Nigeria, Ebo Taylor from Ghana, we could talk about Konimo from Ghana, as well as other Western African countries because during the whole slave trade era, that
Hmm.
was the music, the highlight music was something that the fishermen along the coast were playing and listening to. So fast forward to 2021, that has evolved into other genres of music. So Afrobeats is something that is not just for Ghana or Nigeria. It basically encompasses the whole African continent. When you go down south to South Africa, they
Hmm.
also have their own unique sound that they call Amapiano, which
Hmm.
is sort of bits and pieces of the dance techno music fused with the African sound as well. So I mean, our music is really evolved.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting to hear. Yeah, about, your process. And then Afrobeats is, I hear that a lot recently, about that and people getting more into Afrobeats. So, kudos to you. What are some of the gigs or some events that you have experienced, and what was the experience like? What was the most memorable experience that you
Well, I would say it goes back to one that I experienced in when I was in Nigeria. So there's this yearly concert that is being held within the state that I was, and it's like a musical Christmas kind of festival.
had?
All the musicians who are indigenous within the state and some outside of the state come in to celebrate the whole Christmas season. So
Yeah.
it's just like days of music that is being that happens. So we have like 2 3 days music back to back
Oh,
in
wow.
that kind of large setting that we usually see in all those movies with that kind of rave crowd and all of that cheering. And here in Ghana too, I don't the name has escaped me a bit, but some years back, there was this festival that I think it was called the Big Festival, whereby that event was held one of our national pride monuments that we have here in Ghana, the Black Star Square or the
Mm-hmm.
Independence Square, where
Mm-hmm.
we usually have our Independence Day celebration.
Fun.
Yeah, so I mean, it's also a big space, and it was like 2 or 3 days of back-to-back music from the local artists and some other foreign artists as well. But I mean, for all those events, I wasn't really that kind of like that fan who's be in the crowd and be cheering, to their favorite artists or whatever. But I'm mostly, within the ranks of the technical people, and I'm trying to see new equipment, trying to understand how they work, so and see how best I could use it with any production that I find myself doing. So the technical side of things have always been my specialty. Not really like the fun type where you're gonna see me in the crowd like yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds fun though. That sounds really fun. Tell me, what is your plan for the next, say, 2 months, 6 months? What do you have on your roster?
Well, so for me, I mean, going forward, I think there's going to be a lot of works that I'm going to put out as a producer,
Hmm.
featuring new artists who want to get into the whole space.
Right.
Already, I have some out that I decided to start with something African, just because African, and it's titled the African Experience, which
Uh-huh.
features some of the other creatives that I've come across whilst learning the craft and all of that. So just put a body of work together and not just put it out there, but also some of the stories that happen on the African continent, be not necessarily focusing on the negative side,
Hmm.
but focusing on the positive side of things, that what we have here, what we can showcase to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it for when it comes to me putting out music. And besides that too, I'm also working on some other collaboration. I'm on certain non-profit platforms that year in, year out, we are given a theme to write music about. So it's always fun to also try to tap into the knowledge of other people wherever they are in the world, to see what they can also bring to the
Yeah.
whole music table. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot coming. As we are
Wow.
speaking now, we are trying to do another unplugged session for one of the artists I work with by name Obed Syke, who's just one out of three for the gospel rap group here in Ghana called Preachers.
Right.
They're very
Wow.
big here in Ghana.
Interesting.
So
Would love
it,
to hear it.
there's a lot coming. I just like it takes time. So and
Yeah.
we also need to watch other events and happenings so that we don't just put out the music, but we put it when people will actually naturally gravitate towards it.
Right. We would love to, if you had any music from your artist, to run it on the website. If we have a link to it, we could put it out on the website and just run it for a week or so.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I could send that via email
Okay.
to you, or yeah, sure, I do have some.
Okay. That'll
And
work.
on the second of October, one of the artists that I work with, we're bringing out the video. It's delayed, but we're bringing the video for the single "Fire Go," which
Uh-huh.
is basically a street-inspired song. It
Wow.
just talks about the daily hustle that people in the streets go through, and not giving up if you're unable to make the day's ends meet, but trying to find a different positive way to make it happen the following day.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. I'm so interested. Well, we're excited about what you have going on. We're excited just to have this connection way in Ghana. Like that's a big deal for us. That's a big deal.
Yeah,
And so what advice would you give or are you giving to your new artists that are coming into the business? What do you think is the most important thing that they need to know?
I think they need to understand more about what goes on into the business. That the music more or less might be just about 5% of the whole music scene, but the business aspect actually encompasses everything that pushes your brand forward, whether in the positive direction or in the negative direction, whichever one you decide to go with. So I think then we need to focus more on the business side, and that's something personally I've been doing before I decided that let me start putting out some works for people to see that. oh, this thing actually works if you do it this way or that way. So I've always been keen about, look, even if you don't have the name right now, it will be very important to just do proper documentation of your work.
Yeah.
Like if you go to sleep today and you wake up tomorrow and your phone is just pinging non-stop and you just check it and it's your work is all over the place. Everybody is talking about it. The next question you're going to ask yourself: do I have the proper documentation to really capitalize on all the benefits that could come from it?
Yeah.
If you don't have it, then obviously you're going to lose it. So I think we need to focus more on the business side of the music. Not that the music is not important, but it's always good to know. So in your earlier days that you are doing everything by yourself, fast forward to the future, if you have people coming on board, they're not coming on board just because of the name.
Right.
But when they come on board, you know that you expect XYZ from them, and that is what you are really making sure that they are delivering on it and not just come and attach themselves to you like some leech and just draw money away from you.
That's right. That's right. I love it. Very good advice. Very good advice. Tell us, where can we find you, or tell everybody where they can find you on social media sites to make
Well,
connection.
right now everybody's on social media, so I mean I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Snapchat, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Trailer. I mean, virtually like everywhere everybody is today.
Mhm.
But I would say where I'm most active is Instagram because I do post here and there once in a while
Right.
because of the technical things that I do.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really allow me to be on the platforms every day posting what is happening.
Right.
I mean, joining some rooms on Clubhouse and other
Yeah.
networking, songwriting, and networking events. I've picked up a lot of gems that I think going forward, I'll be using them a lot.
Yeah. Did you, so when they do search you, they just search Collekta?
Yeah, when you just type in Collekta, spelled Collekta, you're gonna find me
Okay,
on
that's
any of the
awesome.
platforms. You're gonna find some of the works that I put out myself, some of the collaborations that I've been part of. There's a lot of audio. There's just a few videos, but there's more videos to come. Hopefully
Yay.
next year.
Okay. Yeah, we're getting close to getting out of this year. Like, this is already almost the middle of September. So
Yeah,
well, thank you so much for being here and sharing with us. We will be following you. We'll be looking for the links to put on the website. You guys go out and find Collekta, Collekta, and go
yeah,
follow him. Hit follow, share his work, and let's support one another so we can build each other up. And we do that by supporting one another. Thank you again, Collekta, for being here and for this amazing interview. I will get it ready and get it sent over to you. We'll send you a few magazines as well, so you'll have some magazines.
sure.
Um,
All right.
yeah, and then also get an
Thank you for
article.
your time.
Absolutely, and we'll put an article in one of the magazines and get that sent to you as well. And in the meantime, you guys just remember: respect yourself, respect each other. God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you.